fashion. That's right, everybody. How's it going? Good evening. It is Monday again. Monday. That's right, Monday, February 24, 2020. How are you? I'm not gluten-free, but I am coronavirus-free today. So no coronavirus here. And so good. And I'm not making light of it, but I'm just, poking a little fun here and there. Because again, I did see my very first person with a mask on today. Yes, I'm in deep South Texas, and somebody was actually wearing a surgical mask around today. Now, understand that I was with a group of a lot of people, and I understand that neuroses, that neuroticism, whatever, doesn't sound right. But either way, it was abundant. It was clear what this individual was trying to do, was trying to make a statement. She doesn't want the coronavirus. And I get it. But folks, it's the flu. It's still the flu. Get your flu shot. It's not too late. There is no coronavirus shot. There is the flu shot. So get that now. Get that now. So that just goes to show what's going on. People, it's going to get worse as far as the hype and the hysteria, and the facts are going to be compartmentalized and moved over here, and the fiction is just going to run amok, and the myths are going to run amok. And I didn't know this. I saw something today. Actually, I read this earlier today. It was talking about the drug crisis and stuff, and the opioid epidemic, and it's still going on. It's still a real thing. Just because it's not in the news doesn't mean it's not going on. But I didn't know this. That back in the day, those kids that were playing around with LSD, acid, they were taking a trip. If they took a trip that was just a little too much, their friends would save them, because they truly believed the myth that whole milk, had to be whole milk. If they injected whole milk into them, it would bring them down from the overdose, from the OD. And no, actually it creates a necrosis, and it eats up wherever the injection site was. So that's just terrible. But no, milk never solved that. But that's what I'm getting at, is quickly people are going to get themselves in trouble, and they're going to find the easy way out. And the easy way out, unfortunately, is going to be the wrong way out, or not an out at all. So be careful out there. That's my public service announcement for today. So today, it's lessons in leadership. Sports and leadership. Sorry about that. Lessons is later on. Sports and leadership. And today I'm talking about the goalie that is the Zamboni Driver. Yes, aka Johnny on the spot. 42-year-old Zamboni Driver stands in when needed as a NHL goalie, National Hockey League goalie. This is big deal. This is not the farm leagues or anything like that. This is the real deal. This is the real deal. So kudos. 42-year-old David Ayres signed an NHL tryout contract and ended up saving the day for the Carolina Hurricanes. Let me take a sip here. A little coffee there. All right, so let's get this straight. He's a Zamboni Driver. This all took place in Canada. The Toronto Maple Leafs were the home team in this case, and the Hurricanes came up. Well, the Hurricanes' original goalie, the starting goalie, was injured. The backup quarterback, the backup goalie, he got injured. He was staggering off the field, so they had to get taken care of. And there was no third goalie. And really, technically, you don't want to play a hockey game when there's still a lot left and there's playoff implications going on. You don't want to play without a goalie. Now, if you've ever tuned into hockey, there are those power plays where they'll pull a goalie just to put another skater on the another player on the ice, another skater, another player on the ice, and they'll pull the goalie. And it happens. But you don't want to play the whole game that way. It just doesn't work. You're going to end up losing. So luckily, on hand, on site, they're supposed to be every time every NHL calls for an emergency goalie. Well, the emergency goalie in this case was the Zamboni Driver, 42-year-old David Ayres. So he got a tryout. He got he signed a tryout contract. Means he didn't get paid, but he had to join the league before he could get on the ice. He used the backup goalie's mask, but he had his own shirt. He had I'm not too sure about the pads, but he had the skates. And so he jumped on the ice, saved the day. Even though he's from Canada and this was played in Canada, he saved the day for the Carolina Hurricanes. So not too shabby. Now he's going to actually get a real life tryout with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, 42-year-old David Ayres. He is now officially the oldest goalie in NHL history. So see, you're never too old. You are never too old. So kudos to him. Kudos to, well, the whole rule about having an emergency goalie is the home team has to have an emergency goalie to play for the other side. So that was the rule. And it all just fell in line. This guy was out there cleaning the ice earlier and boom, now. So I wonder if they made him take off his gear and in between periods go out there and run the machine. I don't think so. But anyway, cool deal. So he did not get paid. However, from what I heard, was that the players all pitched in, the players from the Hurricanes, the Carolina Hurricanes, all pitched in and gave him a pay. They paid him for his, he took something home. So kudos to them. Congratulations to the Toronto Maple Leafs for having this guy there. Congratulations to the Hurricanes for, winning the game with this backup goalie who's never played with them. And congratulations to David Ayres for, being Johnny on the spot. Johnny on the spot. He was there at that moment. He took advantage of it. He seized the opportunity. He saw the moment. He took advantage of it. He lived for the moment. And he took it. And he won. So congratulations. That's kind of a good feel-good story. But it's also one of those stories that we can take and learn the leadership aspects behind the story. What else is going on? So let's do the aspects and insights on the leadership side. Well, I've got some notes here, so really quick, and it's going to apply to all of them. So I'm just going to skip this because this applies. I'm just going to go ahead and go right into everyone. This is across the board, all sectors in any business, not just hockey. Not just business, but know the strength. Leaderships need to know the strength of all their team members. Need to know the strengths of all their team members. They need to be able, the leadership needs to know this. The leadership needs to be able to tap into that knowledge base when it needs it. And be aware who's bringing what to the table. And not who's just taking what from the company buffet, but who's actually bringing content. Who's actually bringing to the organization and what they bring. So what if that 42-year-old Zamboni driver, but that's what he does, but is that all he is? No, he's not, because he's practiced. He was a practice goalie for them. He's been on the field. He's been on the ice. He's been in the trenches. The same thing goes with just about anybody else you hire. You know what? You need to interview them. Leaders need to more than just interview them. You need to get to know them. You need to get to understand them. And when you understand them and when you know them, you feel good about them. That's just the way it is. And why do you feel good? Because now you have this well of knowledge, of wisdom, of experience that you can just reach into, pull out, and boom, there you go. You've got this person to help out here. You've got this person to do that there. And the team succeeds. And why? Because not just on the leader side, on the employee side, this David Ayres, there was always one more thing that he could do. He stayed on the ice. You can tell that his passion was the ice. He was the Zamboni driver, but guess what? He also got to be the practice guy because he was there anyway. Hey, you want to practice with us? Hey, can I practice with you guys? I'll be your practice goalie. Whatever it took, he went one more with that. And what did that get him? That got him that opportunity to be on the ice and to play in the National Hockey League. So while you're doing that, while you're always realizing there's always one more thing to do, go with your gut. Understand that sometimes you just have to listen to your gut. This guy could have just called it quits at 42. Yeah, he's old. He's way above the league average. He'd be the oldest hockey player or goalie. And he didn't. He listened to his gut and he stuck with it and he stuck with it and he stuck with it. And leaders, encourage your people to stick with it and keep going and keep striving and keep pushing just one more and go one more day and go just a little bit further. Employees, the same thing with you. Know that there is always one more thing to do and go with your gut. Don't, if you have doubt up here, you really don't have any doubt at all, because if it's in your gut, if the doubt is coming from your gut, listen to your gut. It very seldom steers you wrong. Folks, I had to learn to listen to my gut. And so far, it's been steering me right so far. It hasn't put me in the wrong. It's when I don't listen to my gut that I find myself in situations I'd rather not have found myself into. But it happens. It happens. Now, lessons here. David Ayres, 42, Zamboni Driver, NHL hockey phenom now. The first person you have to lead and the first person you have to discipline is you, is yourself. Be that person. Discipline yourself, lead yourself. And that applies at 12, at 22, 32, 42, 52, 62, 72, 102. It applies. Because how are other people going to be inspired by this guy? I'm inspired by this guy. He's 42 and he's on the ice making it happen, winning a game. He got the call. He got the call to the bigs right there. The other thing, because he's still on the ice, he continues to be on the ice. He continues to practice. He continues to participate. And he got his shot. Well, what did that mean? That he's a lifelong learner, and leaders, great leaders, are lifelong learners. Be a lifelong learner. Don't just stop. Oh, well, I've achieved the highest I'm going to achieve. You know what? There's always just one more book to read, one more book to crack open, one more book to put and read and learn. And it's not just books. Watch videos. Watch my videos. Buy my books. You know, maybe something I say there will help you. And the next thing you know, you're the next NHL great. You're the next NBA great. You're the next MLB. I don't guarantee it, but you never know unless you try, unless you continue. So be a lifelong learner, constantly learning, never stop learning. It's when you stop learning and you start living in the past and you don't pay attention to yourself and you're living in the past, that's when we lose. Folks, keep moving forward, and you keep moving forward by being a lifelong learner. Next, now here's a great example. This David Ayres situation, again, great example of no job is beneath you. In whatever you do the best, and you do it to the best of your abilities. He's a Zamboni driver. Oh, I would kill to be a Zamboni driver. I would kill. I mean, obviously it doesn't pay a lot. Obviously it just, it's an important job, but it doesn't, I don't see multi-million-dollar contract Zamboni drivers. There's no Super Bowl of Zambonis. Maybe there is up in Canada or something. But what I'm getting at is that no job is beneath him. He took whatever he could. And folks, when you've got nothing, no job is beneath you because you've got nothing. So you take what you can and you learn from it, you grow with it, and you move on. And you become better and you become the best. And that's what he did. He became the practice goalie for the team. Well, guess what? He became the best practice goalie. They had no problem calling him up. They had no problem calling him up. And he won the game. He saved the game. They're basically handing him the W. Folks, do whatever you can to the best of your abilities. That's how you succeed. That's how you win. Constant training, constant learning, constant motivation, constant inspiration, and most of all, constant discipline. And above all of that, constant leadership. And it comes from you, and it starts with you, and it ends with you. And that's just the way it is. Listen, it's Monday night. I'm motivated. I'm fired up. Let's go. Let's make this week awesome. It's the last week of February, but you know what? March is just around the corner. Here comes spring. And it's time to get things done. Time to get some work done. So let's get it done. Everyone, have a great evening. I will talk to you tomorrow.